Hi, and thank you for watching my videos. I just want to help you with something very important because I know that you're probably running into the stigma. If you have hepatitis, my golly, there's a big stigma out there. I mean, they called me delirious. They said I was going to die, and everybody is telling me I was going to die. And man, that's a hard thing to overcome. When people are telling you every day you're going to die and that you're weird and they kind of treat you like a leper, and, I didn't date during that time, and early recovery and all that. And you have this stigma that, people ostracize you. I know my family did. They called me delirious. They didn't think I'd stop using cocaine. They just, oh man, they just had a rough time. So that stigma is really hard. You just got to get through your mind and use your intellect. Intellectually, you've got to get in your mind that I'm going to recover no matter what. I'm going to recover no matter what anybody says. Because that's the way I did. I said, well, by golly, they gave me 8 months to live. It's already a year or so that's gone by. And I kept researching all these natural ways to recover from hepatitis. Whatever achieved good liver health is what I did and what I studied and everything. And no matter what they said to me, I was doing more and more things to help my liver recuperate. So anyway, okay, let me get on with the liver health tips here, because you too can recuperate and recover and have good liver health and get over hepatitis. There's no reason to keep hepatitis, no reason to be afraid of hepatitis. So here we go. One of the things that's so important that took me, I had to discover it the hard way, is fumes. Fumes were so dangerous for the liver and liver health. You see, down in Florida, I grew up, my dad retired from medicine in 1971. Of course, I finished high school and everything, and I worked at the marina. He had a marina, and they sold small boats and big boats. So whether it was yachts up to 60 feet or whether it was small boats for skiing or fishing, they sold those too. So I worked as a salesman, and I still like working on the gas dock on occasion, meeting the big people who had the big boats and things like that. And I worked a lot of times on the boats down inside the engine room. But then when I got into recovery and I straightened up, I noticed that when I was down inside the engine room, I was inhaling all those fumes. And that was really, really, really bad. And toward the late 1990s, of course, by then, I was working for a whole food cooperative, and they're called Everman Natural Foods, and they're in Pensacola, Florida, and they've got over 14,000 members to their cooperative. But at that time, in the late 90s, I was their nutritionist. I did all their health shows. I did all their radio and TV. I went out to the Navy base. I went out to the University Hospital. I had my hepatitis support group. I did liver health seminars. I became, the authority on all the nutritional advice and everything, and they come to me. And every Wednesday night, I had my hepatitis support group. And one guy rolled in there. His name was Donnie Bracken. And he was a shrimp boat captain. Didn't have much education, but he took over his dad's shrimp boat. And he had a successful seafood business, but he comes in there and he says, I got hep C. And they told me to come down here and see you, Johnny. So I said, all right, Donnie, look, come to the meeting. And so sure enough, he followed everything we were talking about in our hepatitis support meetings. A lot of them are the liver tips I'm giving you right now. But then, he was getting over hepatitis. I mean, his viral load was going down. He was doing those things, and his liver enzyme levels were getting close to the normal range, and then he plateaued. He couldn't make any further. And so months and months and months would go by, and he told me, I got my second liver test, and it's just the same, Johnny. How come I'm not making any progress? So I said, well, Donnie, okay, look, I got to check out what you're doing. And so I went and saw his house. I couldn't really see anything there. But then I came by a shrimp boat. I said, all right, I'll see you at your shrimp boat. And when I came there, he was down in the bilge working on the engine. He says, I've had problems with this diesel. And I said, oh, Donnie, look, this is the problem. You can't be down in the engine room and be in hepatitis recovery. There's no way. You're inhaling those fumes inside the engine room. And so I said, it's just so important right now, just for 3 or 4 months, just hire somebody to work on your engines, and you stay out in the fresh air, you know, captain your shrimp boat, get the shrimp and everything like that, but just stay out in the fresh air. Well, sure enough, boom, within 4 or 5 months, he got his next lab test, and his liver enzymes were getting close to normal because he kept doing all the other things that I talked about in the hepatitis support group. And by just getting out and staying out of the engine room, he helped, and so he recovered. Within a year, he totally recovered and got no viral load or anything, and his liver enzyme levels were normal. And it was phenomenal. And that's all it took for it to get him off that plateau, is to get him out of that engine room. And so I'll give you another example. There was when in the early, I got married and everything, and by 2000 I was working for Garden of Life down in West Palm Beach, and I was, I started their product support department. They became a multi-$100 million company, and they do have the best whole food nutrition in the business. I still consider them the best. And I helped with all their product support issues, their customer support issues, whether the salesmen were having problems or whatever. I would help the doctors and the health food store owners. I would advise them on the dosage of the products and get them through those protocols. And Betty Rivkin would come by my office. When I worked at Garden Life there in Palm Beach, she's very wealthy. Her husband was a billionaire. She drove a Bentley, and she had hepatitis C, and she goes, Johnny, I know you can help me. I know you can help me. And so, I was advising her on various things to do, and so she did everything that I told her to do. And she hit a plateau too, just like Donnie. They hit a plateau, and just like me, I had my plateaus. So I said, all right, Betty, look, I've got to see what's going on, at your house. And, not everybody goes to her house, So she gave me all her codes. She said, Ramon will be there at the gate. He'll let you in, blah, blah, blah. No problem. And I said, all right, Betty, I've just got to see what's going on in your house. And so she kept wanting to pay me money. I said, no, Betty, I've got a great job. I don't need your money. I just want you to recover. And so I came by. She has a nice place, and so by the time I walked back through her place, she was doing her nails. She doesn't go anywhere to do her beauty work, and she's 68 years old, and my gosh, she looked 40. She looked beautiful, and no, you would never know she was 60 because she, constantly was working on staying beautiful, staying in shape, but she wanted to get over hepatitis. She did not want to keep hepatitis, and she had that determination. Just like Donnie. When I asked Donnie to quit drinking, boom, he stopped drinking. When I asked Betty to do these things, boom, she did it. She had the determination, and it's real important to get that determination that you're going to live no matter what anybody says. So by the time I walked into Betty's house and made it back through to where she was, she says, I'm back here, Johnny. And here she was drying her nails, like this. And I was like, oh my gosh, Betty, no wonder, and here's her nail polish remover open, and all of her nail polish, and the salonists were still there, and they're doing the hairspray. And I said, but Betty, that's it. I said, the fumes, you're breathing the fumes. She goes, well, what do I got to do, Johnny? What do I got to do? And I was like, okay, Betty, here's what we got to do. On that one over there, we're going to put a fan. And on that one over there, we're going to put another fan. And when there's a north wind, have the fans blowing this way. When there's a south wind, have the fans blowing this way. So whenever you do your beauty work, always have the fans on, no matter what. It's real important that you have the fans going when you do your beauty work, so you're not inhaling those fumes, so your liver's not having to process those fumes. It's got to be away from your inhalation, because it's bad enough to get it on your skin. And I went over all her makeup and you know, advised her on all her cream, made sure she had non-paraben creams. I got her into all her organic makeup and cosmetics. I mean, we went through the whole thing. We threw out a big bag of makeup that she had, because she had that determination. She said, whatever I got to do, if this is no good, I'll throw it out. If this is no good, I said, you can replace all that, all your eyeshadow and your nail polish, everything you can replace with organic. And so we did. We went all organic. So within about 8 months, her liver enzyme levels were pretty close to normal, and she was getting excited. Her viral load went down. I mean, it was cut way in half. She'd gone from 6 million all the way down to less than 1 million. And within a year, she had no viral load. Both her and Donnie, within a year and a half, had no viral load or antibodies of any kind of hepatitis. And that was the one thing they had to do. They had the determination. They were doing all those other things I asked them to do, but they hit their plateau, and they were saying, all right, what do I got to do? And it was the fumes. For me, it was working down the engine room when I was at my dad's marina, so I quit doing that. And I just washed boats, or, you know, just did the sales jobs and everything. And I was able to get over it as well. And just like Donnie, you know, he stayed out of the engine rooms. You know, just like Betty, she'd let her nails dry, you know, away from her. She didn't inhale all those hairsprays. She did not have the fumes. That was her plateau breaker that she had to get over. And I had to counsel them on and find out exactly what it was. So stay away from fumes. Okay, drink plenty of structured water, plenty of spring water. Don't drink. Be the designated driver. Make it fun. You know, have a good time. You know, take your milk thistle. Stay away from fumes. And by all means, don't accept the stigma within your mind, within your body. Be Mr. and Mrs. Enthusiasm, because you can do this thing no matter what anybody says. You can recover. I promise you. And just go right below here and give me your help tip, you know, any questions you have about any of these tips. I'm here to help you every step of the way, and you too can get over hepatitis. No question about it. You take care of yourself.